Hi everyone, Miss Gooch here, and this is a poem all about Storm on the Island by Seamus Heaney. So let's find out a little bit more about the poet and the poem to begin with. So Storm on the Island has a double meaning. It is about an island that is regularly attacked by storms, but it also can be read as a comment on the troubles in Northern Ireland. Think about the word island and the country name Ireland, how similar they are. And also the first 8 letters of the title, if you look up here, spell out Stormont, which is the name of the Northern Irish Parliament building. Quite a clever little hidden gem there. And the troubles started because there was a dispute about whether Northern Ireland should remain part of the UK or it should join with the Republic of Ireland. So Northern Ireland is at the top half of Ireland, still owned by the UK. And at the time that Heaney was writing, there was all sorts of arguments going on and conflict within the country and within the UK as well, bombings, all sorts of things. So it was quite a scary time for people. Yeah, there were riots, there were street fights, bombings and attacks all across the UK and Ireland for nearly 30 years before an agreement was reached. And as we know, Northern Ireland is still part of the UK today. So how does this poem link to power and conflict? Well, the poem explores the power of nature and it also explores the power of a place. So there we go. There's a map of Ireland there. So this is Northern Ireland up at the top, and that was the debate: should it become part of Ireland or should it remain with the UK over the channel there? So let's read the poem together. Follow along with me. We are prepared. We build our houses squat, sink walls in rock and roof them with good slate. This wizened earth has never troubled us with hay, so, as you see, there are no stacks or sticks that can be lost. Nor are there trees, which might prove company when it blows full blast. You know what I mean. Leaves and branches can raise a tragic chorus in a gale, so that you listen to the thing you fear, forgetting that it pummels your house too. But there are no trees, no natural shelter. You might think that the sea is company, exploding comfortably down the cliffs, but no. When it begins, the flung spray hits the very windows, spits like a tame cat turned savage. We just sit tight while wind dives and strafes invisibly. Space is a salvo. We are bombarded with the empty air. Strange, it is a huge nothing that we fear. So let's break this down a little bit and make sure we understand some of the imagery that's occurring here. So it opens with this image: we build our houses squat. So here's an example of a squat house. It means it's low and wide. And if you think about if the wind is attacking this house, it's safer because the wind will just go over it than if you had a tall house. So they've really thought about all of the foundations of this island. You know, they've sunk the walls in rock, they've put good slate on there. All of this is preparing for the storms that attack. And it says, the wizened earth has never troubled us. And wizened earth means earth that's like this. It's cracked, it's dry, it's very hard to grow things in it. And they've never had hay from the earth. They've never really been able to grow anything. And if you think about that in terms of nature, it could be talking about how the power of nature to stop them being able to produce anything. But you could also think about that as whatever side of the conflict, Ireland or the UK, are stopping Northern Ireland from being able to develop and grow things. But it basically, so stacks and sticks. There's nothing that can be lost here. They've got nothing worthwhile, is what is basically being said there. And nor are there trees, which says they might prove company. So when you have the trees, it says here, you can hear them raising their tragic chorus in a gale, so that you listen to the thing you fear. So imagine you're in a storm and you can hear the trees rustling outside, and in a way that might be quite comforting. But what that does do, it means you forget that it pummels your house too. So this could be saying that actually maybe it's better without trees, because you don't get comfortable, you don't get used to it, and also you can kind of see what's coming. If you think about this house here, it'll be able to see the storm rolling in. So that could be quite a powerful position to be in. But also, on the other hand, it means there's no natural shelter. There are no trees, no natural shelter, nothing to protect them. And that, again, if we're thinking about the double meaning, that could be talking about the government or the UK or Northern Ireland, how no one's protecting Northern Ireland, no one's looking out for their best interests. And then towards the end of the poem, you have this imagery of the sea. You might think that the sea is company. And I think about the sea, it normally has quite positive connotations. You think of the beach, the seaside, like the beauty of it all. But actually it says that it spits like a tame cat turned savage. So that imagery of the ocean, the sea that you always see, that you're used to, turning on you, you could think about that as the political metaphor as well. And then towards the end, we've got the helplessness of the people. We just sit tight. There's nothing they can do. And around them the wind dives and strafes invisibly. Space is a salvo. So these are words linked to war. These are all about the gunfire. And then again, bombarded. That's a war kind of term as well, to be continuously attacked with the empty air. But strange, it is a huge nothing that we fear. So again, this could be about the storm, the huge nothing that we fear, or it could be maybe a sort of a dig at how pointless the conflict is. It's like, it's nothing, we shouldn't be fighting over it, because ultimately it's just a border. Maybe that's one way of reading that, for that double meaning of the poem there. So let's go back to our central argument. So the poem explores the power of nature, and it also explores the power of a place. So let's dig into these a little bit more. This opening line, we are prepared, we build our houses squat. So opening with the we shows how the whole community have come together to take on nature. So it does open with this sense of togetherness, this sense of whole. And again, I've already kind of mentioned this, they have to spend their whole life preparing for the storm, even building their homes to suit the weather. So that shows how helpless people are in comparison to nature. And then this line, you might think that the sea is company, exploding comfortably. It suggests that nature can be deceptive. It can make you think that it is soothing and calming, but it isn't really what you think. If you think about the poem The Prelude, we talked about the sublime, so the idea that nature can be both beautiful and terrifying. You could think about applying that here as well. Exploding comfortably, that verb exploding shows how unpredictable nature can be, and how it can fool you into thinking that you're comfortable, and then suddenly it can turn on you and it can become dangerous. And let's think about this other meaning of the poem, that political hidden message. So the idea that the poem explores the power of a place. So this line, the wizened earth has never troubled us with hay, so as you see there are no stacks or stooks that can be lost. And the wizened earth we could read as a metaphor for the UK or Ireland. Remember, Heaney doesn't really pick a side here. That's not what this poem's about. It could suggest, though, that they've never given anything to Northern Ireland, so they've got nothing to really lose in the conflict. But the thing is, having nothing to lose could make them more powerful, because if you've got nothing to lose, it means you can put everything into the fight, and they only have things to gain from the conflict, because at the end of it they're not going to be in a worse position because they started with nothing anyway. And then this lovely simile here, spits like a tame cat turned savage. We could also link this to the political situation. The relationships between the UK, Ireland and Northern Ireland were tame, and now they've turned savage, you could say. Or Northern Ireland kind of has always done what the UK wants it to do, and now the people are rebelling. There's lots of ways of reading that in that political way. And yeah, it could link to the people of Northern Ireland. Yeah, they've had enough of being controlled, so they've become savage. And then this final line, strange, it's a huge nothing that we fear. Again, I kind of mentioned this before, it could be Heaney commenting on the futility of the conflict, the pointlessness of it, the cost of lives that continued for so many years, 30 years this was happening. And it finishes with returning to that pronoun we, which shows unity and the people within the people of Northern Ireland, and it shows that they're sticking together even though they're scared and there's uncertainty. They're going to stick together through it all, which is quite a nice way to end the poem, with that kind of message of togetherness. And let's have a think about the structure here as well. So enjambment and caesura. So the enjambment is the continuation of lines without any punctuation at the end of it. So this could show the continuity of nature and conflict, how it can't be controlled or stopped. And then we have caesura, which is the punctuation within a line. So here's a couple of examples, there are a few more. It could show how unexpected nature and conflict can be. It stops and starts at its own will. You can't control it. It will just come and go or start and stop as it pleases. And now it's over to you to test your knowledge. So pick one of the essay questions below and answer it using the quotations explored in this video. How does Heaney present the power of nature? How does Heaney present the power of a place? And then the shine question, how does the storm metaphor convey Heaney's message? So have a go at one of those, send your response over to your teachers, and then tune in for the next video.